What's up, everyone? It's Teddy, aka JamesKisau on MTGO, and today we are playing Legacy Grixis Control after a pretty big format shakeup. Two pretty big bans just hit the format in Nadu Winged Wisdom and Entomb. So Nadu honestly was not a ban I was expecting, but if you think about it, it is a card that was literally designed incorrectly. It doesn't do what it was intended to do. So I could see how Wizards would want to ban the card that doesn't do what it's supposed to. That was a design mistake and leads to some pretty confusing paper situations. And I'm not going to pretend like it's not great for Grixis Control that Nadu is leaving. It was a very difficult card to interact with profitably. Usually the best plan against Nadu decks was to try to extract Nadu, which, is not super ideal. Though I will say the core around Nadu decks was usually pretty exploitable since it came in creature combo decks. I'm not stoked to think of a world with less Cephalid Breakfast or less Bant mid-range, though in the long run, it's probably good that Nadu is not in Legacy since it is like a show and tell level of power combo, that AB of Nadu and Nomads or Shuko, and to have that castable off Cavernous Souls was probably not great for the long run. It feels like there are a lot more points of interaction going forward for those kind of decks. So yeah, Nadu, gone. Entomb, on the other hand, is one I'm kind of sad to see go. I understand that it is an extremely powerful card, and I also understand that at one time it was banned in Legacy, though it has been legal for the entire time I've been playing Legacy. I started around 2018, 2019 when it was unbanned, and now it's banned again. My emotional feelings aside, though, it's not great for Grixis Control that Entomb is gone, since Entomb is inherently card disadvantage. You spend one card Entomb to put a card in your graveyard, and you're down one card. And since Grixis Control was pretty good at exploiting cards in the graveyard thanks to Cling to Dust or what have you, it is a small advantage that we are losing out on now. Though I understand that Blue-Black Reanimator was dominant for over 2 years. That's a really long time for a deck to be on top. So for format health, I understand. I'm not super upset. I feel like bans or unbans never make me super upset, just because the whole point of this deck is to have the opponent do their thing, let battle be joined, and then hopefully we're coming out on top via interacting and incremental advantage, small battles that make up big ones. I often say I'm not really the best person to ask when it comes to bans and stuff like that, since that is the point of the deck. I'll always just kind of be reacting. Though these ones, I think it might be good for format diversity. Blue-Black Reanimator just really raised the bar of what was acceptable from a competitive standpoint in Legacy to the point where a lot of people weren't playing what they wanted to, and that's not a great place to be. So I think overall this is good. My selfish reasons for wanting Entomb to be legal and my emotional reasons for wanting Entomb to be legal do not outweigh my desire for a healthy format with passionate and engaged players. So I'll take it. Now, to that point of being a deck that is mostly reacting and a channel that's mostly reacting, you can see the list today is pretty much the same as it was last week. I'm playing a second Price of Progress. My only real meta predictions is that Forge and Cloud Post decks are probably going to have a brief resurgence or a brief insurgence. I'm not really sure what the right way to put that is, but I think there will be an uptick in the next few weeks since it does not get hit with a ban and it's been doing well, so people might gravitate towards that as like kind of the spike choice. So having a second copy of Price of Progress could make my job a little bit easier this week. We'll see. The real truth is when there's a ban, you can just kind of throw everything out the window. I think people try literally everything, and that's great. I'm always happy to play against new decks. I think that's great about Legacy. It's always getting new cards. Bans shake it up. That's really what keeps it interesting and engaging to me. Another reason I don't really want to change the list up too much in the aftermath of a ban is that I don't think the graveyard will be any less of a relevant zone, even though Entomb has been banned. It always has been a relevant zone. I think it will continue to always be a very relevant point of interaction. And to that end, I was playing Cling to Dust as a 2 of long before Reanimator was the top deck, and I probably will forever. It's a great card advantage engine. It's a very versatile card, and I think it's important to be able to interact with the graveyard in the main deck. This is by far, I think, the most main deckable graveyard hate for this kind of deck. And also Reanimate might not seem like a great choice now that Entomb is banned, but I never really found it to be that useful against Blue-Black Reanimator, to be honest. Most Reanimator players aren't just going to hang their monster out in the graveyard for you to reanimate. I found Reanimate the most useful against probably green decks, stompy decks. As long as Legacy is about super strong creatures, I think Reanimate will have a place. It might seem not as useful in the long run, and it might get cut, sure. But I don't think I ever started running this because I wanted to fight Blue-Black Reanimator. It's not really a good way to do that, if you think about it. And why put it off any longer? Let's just jump in there. If you want to help support the channel, like, comment, subscribe goes a huge way. The Patreon community is thriving. We're having great ban discussions today. Great discussions about everything. All that at the $2 tier plus extra content. $5 tier, you're eligible for donation leagues, DM coaching, stuff like that. Cool. All right, let's jump in there. New Legacy meta. All right, here we go, folks. Hard to say what is going to happen out there, but I'm excited all the same. This hand is totally fine. Meticulous Archive. This could be a lot of different things. And they put a card on top. Oh, shout out Trial by Ire. Thank you so much. I like my deck too. I'm gonna just go Underground Sea and pass. Might want to cast a Brainstorm here, we'll see. I generally like my chances against blue-white decks, but if this is like Beanstalk Control or something, it might be a little more difficult. Tamiyo. Ponder. Resolves. I see no reason for Cephalid Breakfast to not be a deck any longer. This could easily be Cephalid Breakfast, so I think I'm going to Brainstorm now with that in mind and put a couple lands back. Definitely got my lands for the game. I'm not going to really play around back to basics here. Let's build up some more blue. I'm going to cast a Lightning Bolt, targeting Tamiyo, and then see where it goes from here. Torpor Orb. That card is pretty problematic. And if I like bounced it in response to like a Dreadnought or something, it doesn't really solve the core issue either. I think I'm going to force and pitch Brainstorm. So this is not Cephalid Breakfast. It is indeed Dreadnought. They do not shuffle. This might actually be a Wasteland deck. We are super flooded. Our Brainstorm hit 3 lands, and our draw steps have been a little weak, unfortunately. Another Torpor Orb. Urza's Saga. Well, that will be a Dreadnought eventually. If they cast one now, I can virtually get one out of the way by bouncing the Torpor Orb, I guess. The Torpor Orb will be back, but that'll be a Dreadnought taken care of. I just need something to do, you know? It's close. I think I have to keep it. Pass it back. The deck is pretty mana hungry, I will say. Well, let's just wait. Another Edict. It's not bad. Gotta be patient. Construct that I can Petty Theft. If I can Ninjutsu Brazen Borrower, I can Petty Theft another one too if they do that. Let's see where this goes. They have a lot of cards in hand. I imagine they'll go Dreadnought here. It just makes sense. Yep. Now, there might be a moment where something slips through the cracks, so I don't want to get hit by one of these. I also don't want to get dazed, though. They just have a lot of cards in hand, you know? Tamiyo, that's such a good blocker. Okay. I guess there's always the chance they don't block, though. Since Tamiyo is such a valuable card. Alright. Bowmasters would be pretty good, but not in this scenario. No block. Very good. Alright. Am I tapping down Dreadnought? Let's see if this petty theft resolves. It does. Okay. I think I can make a bid to untap with Kaito then. Just tap that down. Pretty temporary solution, but they did not play a land last turn. If they can put a lot more Dreadnoughts into play, it'd be pretty annoying. Null Drifter is also pretty rough. Tamiyo will flip. I could double Edict and hope they don't have a Force of Will, I guess. That's kind of where we're at. I'm getting overwhelmed. Force, but no blue card. Alright. Cast Edict. If they counter either of these, we can probably go to the next game. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. I'm going to attack them so I can draw cards. They've got to have something in their hand, though. Let's bin Clang, take Narset. It's a little unfortunate to not be able to add Bowmasters to the board, but Force of Will is pretty nice. I've been entirely ground out. The only thing kind of keeping me in this is that they don't really have much mana, which is confusing because they also have 7 cards in hand. Like, they must have a land, right? Force your Null Drifter. Alright, they'll draw 2. Hopefully they don't go land Dreadnought. Land. Soul Guide Lantern. Could be worse. Though that means my easy Tamiyo answers are probably not available. Tamiyo goes up. I might be forced to attack Tamiyo soon. I'm gonna ponder. Well, I could also just possibly have Brazen Borrower do that. Or if I find Nimble Obstructionist. Yeah, I don't think I can rely on this, but I can get a Dreadnought, which sounds pretty good. It's either 12 life or not, you know. Should be pretty good. Is that better than Null Drifter? I think so. It's a lot less in the way of life loss, that's for sure. If they force this, I'll draw a card and attack Tamiyo. Okay, cool. You just gotta keep drawing cards, you know? It's important. At this point, they must have a daze, right? I don't know if it's going to be reliable enough to draw Snapcaster Mage next turn either. Although it can attack Tamiyo for 1. I don't think that's enough. But I'll take this land drop so I can cast Brazen Borrower. Or Cling or something, you know? Brainstorm. I'm going to see if I can like really tax their Source to Plowshares effects, which I'm certain they have a few. Yep. There goes one. They must have another one ready to go, because I don't think they leave Dreadnought around. Yep. Wasteland. Tamiyo goes to 8. Probably need to attack Tamiyo, unfortunately. Not thrilled about that. Ooh, Kolagon's Command. That's pretty good. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna attack them. And draw a card. Gotta bin both of these, I think. Gotta force a will anyways. They'll draw a card, yep. Torpor Orb number 3. It's kind of rough. And they're grabbing Brainstorm. I guess if I kept the Swamp, I could have challenged that. Now I don't need to worry about a Tamiyo Ultimate, which is pretty cool. I'm going to cast Brazen Barber right now. Wonder how many auto wires they play. I mean, they probably play stock up too, right? It's not a shuffle. Swords. It's pretty good. Well, I could finish off Tamiyo now, but I really do think it's more important to just try and get the game over and ignore Tamiyo as best as I can, which feels weird. But I mean, I need to draw cards, and they got another Torpor Orb, unfortunately, so can't exactly do it all. Ah, this Strix would be good. If I really need it, I can Cling to Dust and draw it. But I think Kolaghan's Command will be better right now. Ah, Tezzeret. Yeah. Think we will let that go. We'll probably get Dreadnought, right? I could also just force a will. Use my mana. I think I'm kind of interested in them spending more mana, though. Phyrexian Dreadnought. I could have destroyed the Torpor Orb in response. But I need them to spend more mana. We need to slowly walk into this, you know? Five lands hit exile. Let's also put Bowmasters on board. I could have gotten another thing too, if I had played this entirely correctly. Alright, let's destroy Dreadnought and deal 2 damage to them. Force. I will force back. They will also force. Okay. So what do I do now? Just tap down Dreadnought? Doesn't seem like that is super sustainable, but I think it's the way to go. I believe they forgot to activate Tamiyo, so yeah, got a point of damage there. I do have another Kaito somewhere as well. Let's just get that on board. And they should be due to draw some lands from here, I would hope. Or maybe, well, probably not a cantrip. They've done most of that. Thoughtseize, not great. Alright, let's use Cling. Just try and find some bolts, because I've only used one. I know they're in there somewhere. Nimble Obstructionist. I hope I don't run out of time here. They're going to grab swords. And probably have it stand defensively. They might want to Swords their own Dreadnought if I can burn them. Yep. Swords my Bowmasters. Okay. Swords my Strix. Alright, how about it? Lightning Bolt? There it is. Okay. Probably just need to cast Nimble Obstructionist at the end of turn, get 2 damage in, and then hopefully they drew a land or something. We know it can't be swords. I can take 3 hits from this Dreadnought, which is pretty sick. even if I Thoughtseize. Alright, they're going to draw with the Lantern. And Nimble's in. Ooh, Barragoyf. Well, if this doesn't work, I can try that. Damage is in. Let's see what they're holding. Take Tamiyo, I guess, and Bolt. Close one. I don't know if I played that perfectly. It didn't end up really mattering since they've had double force for that Kolaghan's command, but I probably should have tried to blow up the Torpor Orb when they cast Dreadnought. But I guess, yeah, that actually would not have really worked. Oh, Torpor Orb shuts off Snapcaster Mage. Yep, that is true. I only run one Snapcaster Mage these days, but it is a pretty good one. We didn't see any stock ups, but normally these decks do play stock up. Maybe not this version, though. Although Tezzeret Cruel Captain does seem like probably they're playing Ancient Tomb, but I'm not entirely sure. I know Harain just top 8'd a pretty big Legacy tournament with Stifle Knot. Shout out Harain. Good friend of the channel. Yeah, I feel like Reanimate is like pretty good on rate against this deck. Just paying 1 life and 1 mana for a 12/12, but it's also Swords of Plowshares deck, so by that logic I do side these things out. But in concert with the other stuff, I think we can side Reanimate out, if I'm being entirely honest. I think that was a game 1 exploit, which is fun and all, but it's not really the best thing the deck can be doing. Definitely want Fatal Push and Consign. Maybe 1 Meltdown. Sure, I'll take Red Blast as well. Can trim a Cling. Probably 1 Force of Will. 1 Thoughtseize. 1 more cut. I think probably Nimble Obstructionist. It's kind of the wrong half of the equation. Although it does stop like a Null Drifter trigger or Tamiyo Ultimate. There's things it does. And they're all pretty good. Could be Lightning Bolt. How about Lightning Bolt? I don't think these decks play Doorkeeper Thrall any longer, so while you do want easy access to stop Tamiyo, Bolt is probably one of the lower value cards in the matchup. Unless we start seeing like tons of Ancient Tombs. I'm also happy I finally saw a Wasteland, so I know I can play around that. Island Ponder. Ponder will shuffle. Not a great draw. What does that mean? Nothing out of the ordinary. I think it just means I can cast Narset pretty easily and still play on basics. Tundra. Pithing Needle. Alright. Get a mountain. Good name. Tamiyo Resolves. Do I want to play around Daze? I don't think they play Daze. I don't think it's good enough. I really hope these Red Blasts line up, though. I guess I could always shuffle them away. But I'm hoping for, like, stock up. Something like that. Trying to dodge Null Drifter this turn. Really hoping they play stock up here. No luck. What if I get stifled? I don't. Cast Brainstorm now. Ah, all these frickin' lands again. I would hope that they would tap out a little bit more before I try and slam Narset. But also next turn, like, they could play Null Drifter, which I don't want to compete with. Yep, that's pretty good. Caracas. Dreadnought. Alright, I'll try to Edict this. If they try to protect it, I'll just Red Blast. Not necessary. Fatal Push. That does not work on Null Drifter. Things are kind of coming in the wrong order. Let's cast Narset, though. Try and bolster our defenses and make Null Drifter worse. Yeah, I'll take Meltdown. Yeah. They will see it coming, but I want to deal with Torpor Orb. Wasteland. Wasteland go. I'll activate Narset. Probably take Thoughtseize here. No, I should take Cling so I can grind. And just cast Meltdown X equals 2. Cool. So they're pretty far away from their stuff doing stuff, which is nice. Brazen Barber. I don't really want to go shields down on a red blast. I think no matter what, it's going to get me. Red blast there. Another Torpor Orb is bad news. I should try to force that. I can't. Well, nothing yet. They're also not wastelanding me, which is good. Oh, it was one card away. Alright, cast Brainstorm. No Hull Breacher. There's Kaito. But no way to ninjutsu it in, so I really might as well just hardcast it. All plus. What do they want this mana for? Land is probably not what they wanted. I think we can take over the game from here. The Torpor Orb is a little problematic, but overall I think I have what I need to get over the line while stopping them from developing anything. Sure, I'll just put them both on top. They'll activate Flooded Strand. Grab up Plains. Stock up. Why not just red blast it? Alright, looking good. A lot of their draws are potentially shut off here as well, which is nice. If they go Hull Breacher here, I don't even know if I'll force. I think I might just give them a treasure, and then yeah, on my draw step, take Bolt. Kolgon's Command. Yeah, this is doesn't feel particularly close at this point. We'll Surveil too. Hopefully hit a land drop. Not the best land drop, but I think I'll keep it anyways. Just as long as I'm not going to discard. Good games, Trial by Ire. Huge shout out. This was a really cool match. Sorry, game 2 wasn't as competitive. But yeah, game 1 was insane. I'm not convinced I did it perfectly. But yeah. Glad to start off this new season with a win. Welcome back. It's the next day. I'm pretty sure this person plays show and tell, but I think I'm just getting the avatar conflated with someone named Snoopy Magic. The first 2 letters are the same. It's just, you know, it's tough to keep everyone straight, so I apologize. I also feel like they might play blue-red tempo, so I'm gonna get a basic swamp here and Thoughtseize them as to possibly not get wastelanded. Opponent says no more Grixis? Whatever gave you that idea? Triple Thoughtseize is pretty rough, so I guess I'll just take their threat. Looks like they're on Black Saga Storm. I'll take Besiege. And I mean, if they Thoughtseize me, I feel like they kind of have to take Bowmasters unless they hit another land. Otherwise, they might run out of life. But they also just might take Force of Will. But they don't really need to do that yet. To me, it would make a little more sense to take, yeah, Bowmasters, so they don't just, like, lose to pressure. And if they Thought Seize me again, I might just flash in Snapcaster Mage here. Seems like the right line. Dark Ritual. Are they going to Thought Seize me twice, or Cabal Ritual now? I mean, I could empty my hand no matter what, so maybe just like stopping them from getting off the ground and invalidating a couple cards in their hand is a better line. Because what is their missing card? They'll Thought Seize at the next junction. I might as well just prevent them from getting any more mana, you know? Yeah. That might mean they have something dangerous in their hand, though, which is not great. Let's play Snapcaster Mage. It's going to be a close one. Let's see if they draw anything. Yeah, I'll play that out. If I hit a land, I don't. They'll have something of a decision if they choose to Thought Seize me next turn. Or they hit a land, so they can Thought Seize me twice. Or they can Cabal Ritual. Wouldn't leave them with much. And yeah, you could either, I guess, take 3 or 2. Oh, never mind. So that Dark Ritual was pretty much nothing. But I mean, the Lava Spur Boots in their hand isn't doing a huge amount. We'll see if we can get over the line in time. Narset's very good. See if it matters. They might just Thought Seize it here. They're also getting kind of dangerously close to being Threshold, which means Cabal Ritual could cast, like, ad nauseum, I guess. But they might not have enough life to really cash that out into a win. We'll see. Okay, we can probably keep them off Threshold here. I just need 2 more hits, man. 2 more hits! How hard can it be? 1 more hit if I hit a bolt. They have a bargainable object here. But yeah, they're just barely not Threshold. They gotta pass. Alright. I think spending my mana is important. Let's hit the Beseech. That'll keep him off Threshold. Kolaghan's Command. Bolt? Hell yeah, baby! Assuming they don't have Bowmasters. Come on, come on, come on. We're in blocks. Oh yeah. Alright, Bolt you. Nothing like taking game 1. Alright, Meltdown seems pretty relevant. Lava Spur Boots, you know what that means. I'm just gonna say something dumb. Haha, I like Grixis. Side out Reanimate. Maybe Mountain. Yeah. Bolt. Although Bolt might still be pretty darn good because of Kraza. I don't like Edict though. Fun says I know. That is so funny. Can cut 1 Kaito. It's not super important to push your own agenda. It's more important to prevent them from having these explosive goes. And while we do have a lot of hate or interaction that isn't stopped by Kraza, well, it's mostly just opposition agent. So, yeah, I'll cut 1 Baleful Strix. This hand seems good. I mean, it's missing a blue card for Force, but it's really hard to throw back a Thought Seize. They are good on 6, and they have Urza's Saga. Baragorth should be the counter to this. If they Thought Seize me here, could be in some trouble. Or if they just go off even, like, I don't have the blue card for this Force of Will yet, but I think that would be very hard to do with 2 cards. Okay, they take Force. I would consider that somewhat concerning. It also kind of makes me feel like their last card's not relevant, or it could even just be a land. I hit a land for Baragorth. Yeah, I just don't really think I should Thought Seize here. You can do it next turn when they're priced into like spending mana on constructs. Lotus Petal, pass. Alright, so it is a non-land it seems, unless they're just really trying to trick me into playing that Thought Seize, which would make sense. I'm gonna cling here because clinging discard spells can be pretty important if you're trying to survive using consigned memory, and they cast Gaia's Will. Oh boy. Nimble Obstructionist. That's pretty good. I'm gonna take a lot of damage. Can I even afford to Thoughtseize? If I go to 16, they'll have 6 artifacts and attack for 13. Assuming they get Lava Spur Boots. I don't know. I think it's better than not casting it, but it's pretty sketch. Are they going to play Bowmasters here? Oh, Cabal Ritual. Okay. I mean, I'll happily take that, but this is getting a little sketch. We know they have Lava Spur Boots. If they didn't draw a land, though, and they have to use a Lotus Petal to equip the Lava Spur Boots, that would be a blessing. I'll play around. Pithing Needle, I guess. That is something they could do and delay Baragoyf, which would not be great. You know what would be cool? Oh my god, that was like the best draw possible. Insane. Alright, clang this. Maybe I'll hit Meltdown. I do not hit Meltdown. Okay. So, I don't think I survive even if I played Baragoyf. Because I only gained 4 life up to 5. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Oh well. Let's try that again. Let's just run it back. I'll take the play. And yeah, hand's pretty darn good. I'll keep. Shouldn't get aggroed out by constructs this time at the very least. Thanks to Brazen Barber. And you're usually able to bolt the first one. But I will say, if I can't defang the deck with Surgical, or maybe even make their hand a lot weaker, there's the potential we'll like run out of gas here. But we gotta try. Thought sees you. Yeah, what if I just extracted Dark Ritual? They do have a Blasted Saga, I will say. I don't really see the point. Well, I kind of see the point, since they don't really currently have the mana to make constructs. Not to mention extracting Dark Rituals from the deck is fairly effective, and I'm kind of just in the business of trading. They will take my Bolt, I think. And then this way I can get some information as well. See what they draw. Maybe they drew another Dark Ritual, who knows? They drew Tendrils. Okay. Gotta watch out for like a small-sized Tendrils here. Couple Abrupt Decays. No Kraza. Fairy Macabre. I'll just do the thing. Alright, file that away. Alright. Hopefully it's hard for them to storm from here. They'll take my Bolt. I will hopefully draw something good. That's pretty good. If I draw another land, that is. So I think I'm going to Surveil and really prioritize that. So if I can cut off Chapter 3, well, that would be pretty good. There's Saga. And a pass. I don't have to hit it this turn, but it'd be kind of nice. Alright. Meltdown? That's pretty good too. I don't have any red mana, never mind. Hurts. Shoot. I'm getting nervous now. Come on, deck. Please don't let me down. They've got nothing yet. Well, I need to spend my mana. Let's put these Bowmasters out there. And I know they can't Dark Ritual for whatever, you know. Oh man, that hurts. That hurts. Alright. Now, pretty much anything can happen. They can get a Lion's Eye Diamond if they really want. Ideally, they're just stumbling, but I have concerns now. I'm thinking they'll get Chrome Mox. Maybe Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Well, I guess they only need one more artifact for that to be on. which they do. Duress me. I guess I'll cast Cling. Try and work towards a land. Force a will. I really hope their last card isn't good. And I really hope I draw a land next turn. Like, how hard can it be? They could cast Tendrils here. They'd go down to 1 card in hand. They decide not to. Alright, a little help here. Good God. Well, I gotta bluff. Gotta bluff 1 more turn. I guess there's no real point to do it like that, but they need to know that I didn't put a land in my hand. But I could have just, like, you know, put the land in my hand and just not play it. Looks like we're getting away with it. Important to note, though, they do have that Tendrils in hand. Just need them to not storm, basically. Another important thing is that if they do cast something that I want to grab with Opposition Agent, well, yeah, if they cast Besiege the Mirror, they can still cast it since it's in exile, as per Opposition Agent's replacement. However, that means you should grab something random like a land and not something they'd actually want to cast. Or you could just grab something with CMC greater than 4. We also can't let the storm count get too high here. Got 3 unknowns. Duress me. I guess I'll let it go. Or should I cast Agent in response? I don't think so. This could end badly. Storm is only 1. And they can't take the relevant card here with Duress. They take Brainstorm. What if I top decked Meltdown? They might just Tendrils to stay alive here, but it would kind of make it harder for them to win later. I don't really want to lose more life, but 13 and 14 is not a huge difference. I mean, I can't, like, force a will, but maybe I can cling into a blue card. There are no creatures, unless they Abrupt Decay Opposition Agent, which they might have to do to win. I'm not sure. But yeah, we saw Abrupt Decay out of their deck. Just gonna do my very best to not contribute to their storm. Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, 1 unknown. Cabal Ritual. Burning Wish, get out of here! Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, they don't have the mana to cast 2 Tendrils is the thing. They're holding priority. If they get past in Flames, I'll cling Tendrils. I guess I just let this resolve, right? If I swing and miss on a blue card for Force, that would be terrible. They currently have exactly enough mana to cast Tendrils. They did not activate their diamond. I think they had to hope that I would bite on that. Right now this puts me to 1 if they're able to cast whatever they get off Burning Wish. Or they could put me to 3, get their sideboard Tendrils, and just try and cast the Nether Tendrils next turn. Doesn't seem like a bad bet. Cabal Therapy. They don't have a creature to sacrifice, I will say. So maybe they don't have sideboard Tendrils? But if they had a creature to sacrifice, that would be 2 storm and 1 card. Tendrils, yep. Alright. What do I draw? Nimble Obstructionist, not bad. So even if they can pull off another Tendrils, that would put me to 1. Unless they name Nimble off of Cabal Therapy. Getting the GGs, though. Oh, that was crazy. I'm still a little confused. Forgot about the Opposition Agent. Would have won, oh well. So they got Cabal Therapy because that would have done something through the Opposition Agent, or they were setting something else up and they would have just done what I said and get their sideboard Tendrils and try and use the Tendrils in hand on a later turn. I'm not entirely sure, but if you're watching, I would love it if you would elucidate Snappy72. Otherwise, shout out. Very well played, tight match there. And now we're 2-0 in the post-ban world. All right, folks, it's time for round number 3. And I'm on the play with a Thoughtseize. Kind of a cool hand, in fact. Bowmasters, I like having plenty of those, just in case I'm in a Bowmaster mirror. And then Ponder to be able to switch things up if necessary. It all feels pretty good. Looks like we're against Pox, which might be a little difficult. Really tempted to take that Zurin Orb, honestly, but I don't think that's wise. I mean, we should just take Malevolent Rumble. No real contest. This might be difficult. In fact, I think it will be difficult. Wasteland. That was the draw for turn. Well, I'm glad they're not really developing beyond that. They could play Mox Diamond if they think ramping is important. Yes. And the Catacombs go down. That makes sense. Alright, we'll start looking for lands, but it's going to be difficult, I think. Let's ponder. I mean, yeah. If I had known I was going to draw Reanimate, I would have sniped that Hogak, but I think they'll discard Hogak to Kolaghan's Command. So this is a pretty solid spread here. I think it's more important to have Kolaghan's Command than Reanimate, though. So I'll hide that at the bottom. Let's be honest. Yeah, I assume they'd want to get Saga going here. And I think I want to play Bowmasters this turn, right? Does that make sense? Could also Ponder again. But no, I think getting on board is important. This is a Bowmasters deck, to be clear, but I also just want to get on board, you know? Feels important. Hatchery, sure. With a sack outlet, no less. What if I destroy Mox Diamond? That's kind of the same as destroying a construct, isn't it? Only if I do it main phase, and they could potentially cast Hogak. I want to reanimate Hogak. I don't want them to blow the hatchery yet. So yeah, let's just chill. I want them to settle in for a long game. I want them to settle in for a long game and then get rudely surprised. That's pretty good. That's a combo right there. What are they going to get? Lava Spur Boots? Oh, Pithing Needle. Oh, I don't mind that too much. Tameo, sure. It's a good name. Discarding Wasteland. Yeah, of course. Fuck. That's so annoying. Why'd they have to draw Thoughtseize? At least I can kind of price them into taking Reanimate, but it's rough. I guess I could spike Snapcaster Mage off the top. Or if they cast Hogak right now, they might take Ponder. Yeah, they're going to go for it. So it'll be pretty low resources, but I don't think it'll matter. I don't think I can beat this. Unless I top deck like Shieldred's Edict, then I could reanimate Hogak. As long as I got the timing right. Alright. Just a bunch of Bowmasters. I don't think this is going to work out too well, but we gotta try. Take out an Insect here. Now they can't convoke Hogak again. I'm one turn away from being able to beat this in combat, but taking 13, 14 right now, that won't even matter. Yeah, by chumping I do get more turns, I guess. Witherbloom Command? Jeez, their draws have been good. Oh, but they didn't return a land. Okay, they're just trying to end this real quick. Volcanic Island? No, that won't do it. Ooh, we had a plan. It did not work out. Meltdown. Consign is solid. Surgical is great. I think I do want from the Catacombs. Having stuff to do from your graveyard that is also grindy is very nice. Damn, I just needed them to not draw Thoughtseize that one turn. I mean, I could have hid the Reanimate on top, but then... Or wait, no, everything was in my hand by that point, so yeah, it didn't matter. Felt like I had a way through that. But sometimes your opponent gets what they need. Don't need Narset. Murktide will probably get walled. I don't like Thoughtseizing these kind of decks. One Kaito should be sufficient. The other thing I don't like about this matchup is that Meltdown sometimes is just dead. Sometimes they'll have boards like last game where Meltdown probably could have stopped them from doing much, but yeah, if they just have like Baragwayf, Grist, Hogak, what's Meltdown gonna do? It is tough. Lightning Bolt's also not great. Yeah, let's go like this. Hope things go our way a little bit more this time. Opponent keeping 7 again. It's pretty rough. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. They don't play Cabal Therapy. Seems like they have a play. Sure. They might just take Edict as the unique card. And they take Bowmasters. Hopefully their hand is slow, that means. And they're not ready to take on this much pressure. Brazen Borrower will be good in that scenario as well. Saga. Oh, Zuran Orb is back. That's pretty annoying. And Mox Diamond. Yeah, those are big constructs. Let's try and get some damage in. I technically have them both covered. And this is not entirely like lands, since it's often not super useful to extract a loam against this deck. I think they only run 2 copies. It's definitely a powerful part of their deck, but it's probably better to just extract Saga itself. Snapcaster Mage is pretty cool. Let's charge ahead. That Zuran Orb is really annoying. I'll spend the card they know about here. They'll make another construct, yep. And I guess in response here, let's get some information, see what's going on. Maybe even snipe one. No. You have double Smallpox. Do they have any mana they can get? No, they'll have to get Pithing Needle here. We're like in okay shape. I like the Chains of Mephistopheles too. They really don't want to cast Smallpox. They'll name Seasoned Scholar again, yep. Meltdown would be cool. Kolaghan's Command is actually pretty darn good too. They might be too worried to discard Hogak again too. But I think I'm going to Petty Theft just to get Brazen Borrower like out of my hand into a safer zone. I don't have many bad draws from here. Like, they could cast Smallpox, but I think it would set them back quite a bit. They could make a black, float a black, sacrifice it to Zuran Orb, and then cast Smallpox. They're going to play Chains. That's fine. Doesn't really seem super relevant here. At least I hope it isn't. Lorraine Revealed? Don't mind if I do. Put them to 3. Brazen Borrower in the wings. I don't think Shattering Mox Diamond is super relevant. Going after Zuran Orb is interesting though. Really make them choose. But yeah, they'll pack it up. Don't really think anything changes here. I'm happy to see they brought in Chains of Mephistopheles, because while that card is very strong against like Brainstorm and stuff, we can usually do okay around it. And again, that was 2 games in a row. Meltdown would have been very powerful, so I'm going to keep that. Yeah, I think I'll just run it back. Fatal Push is tempting. Hold on. Checked the tapes. No Baragwayf, 2 Grists, 4 Bowmasters. I'm not going to bring in Fatal Push. But I think Murktide could be okay. And I think I'll cut from the Catacombs on the draw. They're leaving in all the Smallpox and all that, so probably wise to not try and cast a 5-mana spell here. Keeping 7 again. Hope it's a 7 like last game. They have the Hatchery. Okay, well, we're hitting lands. That's not bad. I should probably cast Ponder while I still can. Yeah, this is good. I'm not going to draw that land in all likelihood. Or maybe I will. I don't know. Hope I don't need to force, but I might need to. Baron Moore. Classic. Love that card. Played that card somewhat recently, since it's pretty good with Ren 6. Alright, if they didn't have Thoughtseize this turn, I think we're in pretty good shape. I think that was the turn to play it. And that means I'm going shields down on Tamiyo too. I mean, Force of Will, which I think is fine. I mean, it's not like great, but I think it'll be okay. Bowmasters, sure, I'll cycle Cling right now. Miss on blue card. Kind of light on action here. But I think they're going to want to make constructs. Maybe not. Oh, there's Baragoyf. What? Crazy. They just brought it in. I can beat this over time, but right now, it's pretty bad. Woof. My deck is failing me. I don't really want to get Pithing Needled here, but I think I'm going to get aggroed out. Like if Baragoy flips over a Hogak or something, I just needed action. Like you would never think to side out a land against Pox, but I'm wishing I did. Okay, they got the Zurin Orb. That's kind of good news. Ghost Quarter. So I get an extra mana this turn. I wish it mattered. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Destroying Bowmasters before combat doesn't make sense. I take the extra damage anyway, but it's not even attacking, so... Really hoping they don't flip a creature here. Oh my god. They hit Grist or Bowmasters. That's so bad for me. They take Bowmasters. So I have sights on Baragoyf this turn at the very least. But yeah, things are really bad. I do not love my spot. I wonder if I need to destroy this Zurin Orb. Make them choose right now. That feels okay. I think I'll do it. No, I should destroy the construct. Keep the board close to empty. Well, after I Edict, maybe that won't matter so much. I don't want them to pull the trigger on this, though. Or do I? Maybe I do. Okay. Brainstorm is my best draw. Please. Oh my god, it happened. That's so sick. Let's see what I can pull off. Can you believe that? Consign. Well, if they hit me with the Ghost Quarter again, I should probably put these back. And then I can extract Bowmasters and deal with that. Alright. Close to stabilizing here. I would have liked to hit another blue card. Edict. I could draw step it as well. I doubt they'll have more than one Ghost Quarter though. I could check the tapes again, but I already did that once, so I feel kind of silly. Yeah, whatever. Oh, they had another Saga. Toxic Deluge they probably don't want to cast. And they did have Wasteland. Okay. Yeah, I assume they'll play Saga. Probably consign Chapter 2. Hopefully draw a blue card here. Nice. Alright, I'll just try and draw my whole deck, I guess. Consign that. Don't have to play around Bowmasters. They have Hogak. That's not good. How am I going to beat that? Probably by clinging? Yeah, that's how. Yeah. They can wasteland this. But I think it should be blue anyways. It's kind of nice to gain life too. Alright, see if I can do this. I'm pretty sure Tamiyo Ultimate can beat Hogak as well. Oh shoot, but Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle will come off Saga. And that is a huge problem. Cast Brainstorm. 2 bolts. I'll have to draw through that. I might finally have it here. I need to find like artifact removal. Third Saga. It's kind of rough. And they are ignoring Tamiyo. Alright, let's activate these clue tokens. Hopefully hit Kolgon's command, Meltdown, something. Bowmasters? No, it does not do it. We came so far. Fought real hard. Now what can you do? I thought we had thread the needle. Well, they're still ignoring Tamiyo. I think I need to dig. So probably just bolt construct. Cling. Let's really look for a way out of this. Little help. Snapcaster Mage. I don't think I'll survive, but I can at least plus Tamiyo. And that would be hopefully enough to hold on. Glad they did not wasteland me. I wish the timing of this made better sense. Alright. Destroy Pithing Needle. I guess have them discard. And if I survive, I can probably stabilize. Maybe. I'd feel a lot better if I had a blue card for this force. And they had a land for that Mox Diamond too. It's rough. Their last card is Toxic Deluge, which I think they could have cast for lethal. Deluge X equals 1. Do I need to block? No, I'm not going to. Might be a little risky. I think I still need to plus. Pretty crazy, huh? I just bolt a construct now. Yeah. I feel like I can't ever stop plussing this Tamiyo. Thoughtseize. I guess I'll give them this force. And then cling a creature so I don't lose to Toxic Deluge. Or I could not. And I kind of want them to cast this Toxic Deluge and miss the cling in my yard. Having creatures on board is pretty nice. I think I need to plus this Tamiyo till the end of time though. Yeah. Taking Bowmasters. Deluge for 1. Well, now I can ultimate Tamiyo to gain some life. I did that wrong. I should have escaped. Yeah, I'll keep that. Alright. Draw 15. Play land. Cast Meltdown for 0. And yeah, Baragoyf I think would have stabilized. Whew. That was insane. Oh my god. Too scary. I think I gotta call it there tonight. I'm moving through this league at a glacial pace, but I'm trying to do it when I'm at my best, you know? And I think I'm going to start making mistakes. I think I put a lot into that match. Welcome back for round number 4. Opponent's on the play with a 7. I'll keep this hand. It does stuff. It's an incredibly black hand, and it also doesn't have... Wait, what did I just agree to? Anything awkward like a basic island. Oh, no response? Yeah, combat. This is gonna mess with me. Declare attackers. Pass to the end step. There's so much just unfamiliarity messing with my head right now. I'm gonna get a volcanic island here, just in case I draw brainstorm. I don't want to be stuck with all these lands. If I just pretend it just says okay, maybe I can be okay with this. I'll ponder. Happy to see that, as long as I draw action. Although I feel like these 4 lands might help me out grind this opponent with Cling to Dust. I was able to pass the first Tamiyo test. If they play another one this turn, that could be tough. But instead they have Meticulous Archive. This could be like Cephalid Breakfast. Put a card on top. I mean, if they just fire their combo next turn, it might work. In the interest of beating Daze, I feel like I would probably... They have Swords of Plowshares, let's be real. I'd probably rely on Cling to Dust to beat a Breakfast combo over casting Bowmasters targeting a creature. If I had Force of Will, I'd be a little different. There's also no guarantee that I would hit a blue card on Cling to Dust. Whoa, Volcanic Island? What the hell? This might be Wizards, actually. Well, I'm going to Surveil. And I'll keep that, because it might make them play weird. And it also could help against a Tamiyo. Maybe I can trick them into wasting 3 mana on Magus of the Moon if they think it would ruin my life. Comet. That's pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can counter this, I think. Clinger Ponder. I cannot counter this Comet. Okay. They rolled a 3. What does that do? You get a card back from your graveyard with mana value 2 or less. That's so good. Ugh. They take Ponder. They're getting a good exchange on me. Play Bowmasters. Maybe top deck Kaito. I don't know. Although it seems like they're thinking about casting Force of Will. They don't. So I can't beat this combat, or this Comet in combat. So I need to see if this Bolt will resolve first. I think I'm always playing this. And then Bolt there. Force of Will. Sure. How about Kolaghan's Command? You discard and shock Comet. Yeah, okay. Am I going to play around Solitude? I think that would be acceptable. They had a few ponders. Alright, put 1 on Comet and 1 on you. Kind of glad they didn't get the Tamiyo back now. I might have to force, if they have something like Fourth Aerlingus. I'm certain they have at least 1 more land drop though, right? Yeah. Maybe a few after that, even. Force that. Don't you dare Spell Pierce. Thank you. Alright, now we should be able to grind this out. That was pretty good. Wonder how many Comets they're playing. Comet has the tendency to be a little unreliable, but there's no doubt that everything it does is pretty strong. Fourth Aerlingus. Sure. How do you want to play this? Very conservatively. I think that is wise. I'm going to cling it. I'm hoping they don't have too many of those in their deck. Alright, we are pulling ahead on cards. It feels pretty good. Let's get their last card out of here, I think. Although, I feel like if they block Bowmasters... I don't know, that doesn't make sense. I could just have them discard instead. I'm getting a little too into it here. They drop a Force of Will. They're going to get another good exchange off me here. If I bolt, I just want to get through this. So I will. Now I just need to win a top deck war while I have Cling, and I already have a Snapcaster Mage in hand as well. Seems pretty good. They will fetch to thin. At this point I even defy Back to Basics to stop me, and so far we're in good shape because they hit a land. I could even draw step Kolaghan's Command them, but I think I'd rather hardcast this Force of Will first. We have pressure. We have pressure that can turn on a dime even. With a Snap Bolt, could end this out of nowhere. Okay, they are super flooded. So if I Snap Bolt, I could probably lock this up with Kolaghan's Command, or with Force of Will, unless they have something really crazy. And I'll play that out. I think this game was a good example that it's okay to take bad trades occasionally if you're patient and not under a ton of pressure. We did it! Well, that was only game 1, but out of the sideboard I got a couple Red Blasts from the Catacombs, Thoughtseize. It's all really good stuff. And I guess Opposition Agent as well. It having Flash makes it a lot better than our other blunt objects, I think. I don't find Reanimate particularly applicable here, and I would not put them past Back to Basics. I really played that game in the hopes that they would either side them in or keep them in, depending on where they are in the list, if anywhere. And I really did my best to not show them any basic lands, because those are the small things that will help you. Now, we don't want to fail any Tamiyo tests here, but Bolt is not one of the better cards here. We can also try to make their Hydroblasts almost irrelevant by trimming a Kolaghan's Command. Or, I don't know, there might not be an or after that. I'm also wondering if they even have creatures. This might be a little different than like a Stoneblade deck, but I think they'll always have a target for From the Catacombs because they're running Tamiyo. So I think this is a slam dunk. It's not really the right matchup for Nimble, but Tamiyo's presence kind of makes it feel like it's always at least a little necessary. I'm going to trim one Lightning Bolt. Alright, this looks good. Not only do we pass the Tamiyo test, but we have Bowmasters, Strix, and Narset. Ironically, we do have to look out for back to basics this game, though. Especially if I have to answer Tamiyo on turn 1. We'll see. They have a play. Uh-huh. Okay. It's kind of what I've feared. Stay strong, though. Don't deviate. They might not have anything too strong to do on turn 1. I could also read them getting a basic island as a defense against Wasteland. They might have kept on the strength of Tamiyo Brainstorm. Brainstorming before making a land drop. I mean, they might already have lands in hand. Who knows? Yeah. Seems like things are going pretty good for them over there. Ponder's fine. Ponder is not shuffle. It would be nice to find like a red blast or some way to stop my opponent's plays. I think I'm going to brainstorm here. My hand feels a little clunky. Okay, that's a little better. I will put back Ponder and Nimble Obstructionist. Or I could Ponder again. That doesn't seem bad, especially if I find like Force of Will. It seems weird to put back a copy of Bowmasters, but I think it feels like the right thing to do here. Planning for the possibility of back to basics. Yeah, I'll shuffle that. Much better. Much better. This would be a slam dunk right now if I had a Force of Will. But the good news is that if they like kind of waste time doing back to basic stuff, which I guess they're not going to, unless this is that crazy list I saw at Eternal Weekend that played Lotus Petal and Jeskai Control. But yeah, I'm glad they're possibly not doing anything crazy this turn, because I am going to put it on next turn. Can't play Narset. That one's pretty good. Can't play Strix yet either. Alright, it would appear that they are not really concerned with back to basics after all. They put a card on top. What is it? Well, play Bowmasters. Brainstorm. That was maybe not the ideal time for them to do that. We can hope. That is good enough for Force of Will. Maybe they're not ready to deal with a Kaito. Lorien revealed. What about like Snapcaster Mage on Ponder? Does that seem like okay? I think that would be the extent of it. It seems like okay. Although they're clearly not afraid of Red Blast. I was representing Red Blast pretty hard there. It seems like a fine turn for Strix. I think they're gonna Red Blast. Which makes me happy I did not play Narset, I guess. They're like almost out of answers. We're close. Land go. Alright. I guess I'll do the same. They might hardcast Force on me. If Lorien Revealed could have gotten red mana, I would have done that. Alright, play Snapcaster Mage. Target Brainstorm. Cast Brainstorm. Okay. Probably want to clean this up a little bit before my draw step. I'm kind of punished if I draw a land, though. Yeah, so I'll just redraw Brainstorm. Yeah, that seems fine. If they Brainstorm now, they might have something like Spell Pierce. It's a little sad to give up Lorien Revealed because it's such a hammer, you know? But what can you do? This would force the action on a Tamiyo for sure. Play Narset. That's just in there. Activate. Miss! Alright, I'll attack. They'll block. I'm not gonna bolt. Or wait, it would have been safe to bolt. I have Narset out. I'm screwing up, folks. I was thrown off by missing on Narset. I feel very ahead, though, I will say. Just need to not let this game slide out of control. Bolt Tameo now that we're in combat. Don't have to worry about 4th Aerolingus. Alright, I really don't want this Brainstorm to miss. I mean this Tameo to, or Narset to miss, so I'm gonna Brainstorm first. If they Hull Breacher me, whatever. Okay, cool. I think I will show off Cling. If they can get through this Kaito. Okay, let's cast from the Catacombs. Getting Strix? Sure. Should probably be Bowmasters. Not sure what their last card is. It might be Blue Blast. Okay, it was Swords. Could be in some trouble if they hit 4th Aerolingus off the top here, but you know what? I think we'll survive somehow. We'd have 4 dudes to contend with. They drew Swords. I think we're in good shape from here. I'm going to go Forge. Not a great draw. Alright, I'm going to cast this on Tameo. And this is not a good idea. But don't concede. Let's hit Strix. I don't want to turn off the Brainstorm in my hand when it is super live to hit a Force of Will at this point. Put them to 7. Or Pyroblast is also pretty good. Although most of their blue cards are kind of invalidated by Narset. Ooh, Comet. That's pretty good. Alright. Brainstorm. Yeah, we were super live to hit Force. Force of Will. Very good. Now I will draw a land. I will ninjutsu Kaito in... Oh no, I'll have to draw 2 lands. Shoot. Yeah, this is an opportune time to go to the archives. What can you do? This fail to find? No, there's still Badlands. Right? Right. Alright, so Strix will go to exile, I believe. Because of the corpse counter, but... Let's see. Yeah, it's gone. Shout out Retro Gamer 27 saying from the Catacombs is cool. I totally agree. And then I think even if they hit 4th Aerolingus, I will try to fly over the top here. Or I could go to Throne of the Dead 3. Yeah, let's do that. Gives me a blocker as well. This should hit Bowmasters. It does. I think I would take that over Agent. Yeah, just having more bodies. I don't really have a way to recur a Bolt, though. Yeah, shout out Retro Gamer 27. This was a pretty wild match. 4-0 on ban week. I feel like I need to try and bring this trophy. It's important to make sure people know Grixis Control is still viable in the new meta. Alright, I'll be back for that trophy match. Welcome to the trophy match up against my buddy Rude Slay, Reanimator Expert. I'd be tempted to keep this hand because of the Force of Will, but clearly it's a mulligan because there are no lands. Yeah, I think I'll make this work. Pretty sure Rude Slay is not giving up even though Entomb has been banned. I'll keep. I think I'm going to bottom Kolaghan's command. But if I get my Baragoyf reanimated on me, that'd be pretty rough. But that'd also be kind of hard to pull off. They'd need a lot of mana on turn 1. They're going straight to discard. That could work out well for me. Let's Surveil. Nimble Obstructionist, I'll bin that. Yeah, I would like an Atraxa. Reanimate that. We'll take Force. On the spot concession. It's nice to steal game 1 against Reanimator, presumably. I'm pretty certain this is Reanimator. Alright, but what kind of Reanimator? They barely showed me anything. Rude Slay says, lol. Lamau. Not a normal game. I'm gonna treat this like Reanimator and bring in the Reanimator cards. The question is, though, like, I've played Rude Slay's lists before. There's like Stronghold Gambit usually coming out of the sideboard. We're usually pretty solid against Stronghold Gambit since we have a lot of creatures. And they should have lower CMC than whatever they're trying to put in. There might be a weird spot of like Murktide and Atraxa, but for the most part I think should be okay. I'm inclined to side out this mountain lightning bolt. Kind of interested in Price of Progress. Well, maybe not. This deck clearly operates with very few lands. Might even be mono black. I'm just not sure yet. I think I would cut Baraglyph. Is there a better cut, though? Maybe another lightning bolt. Okay. Gotta get a feel for what's going on here. I mean, yeah, it looks pretty good. Force blue card, Cling, Reanimate, and they're taking a mulligan. It's a little rough if I hit a red card, but I don't have many red cards in. Just 2, I think. Bayou, Thoughtseize. I'm expecting Force to go here, and hopefully they can't go off this instant. What are you doing to me here, James? Hopefully that's a good sign. Just the usual. Taking Cling. Alright. Drawing Brainstorm. Okay. Thought about doing something for a second. No, I don't think I will. Delta. Pass. Alright. Let's cast Brainstorm. Consign is not bad. I'm interested in keeping as many spells as possible. Let's Ponder. Yeah, I think I'll take another Forest. I need to find Pressure. Maybe Pressure will find me. The odds of them, like, running me out of interaction while also keeping a monster out of the graveyard seems a little low. Unmask me. Yes. Pitching Grizzlebrand. I would expect them to take Brainstorm here. Or if they're actually going to try and wade through these forces and not just challenge them. Oh, they take Reanimate. Makes sense. If that's really what's preventing them from going off here. Collective Brutality. And the Drain mode. Obviously I wouldn't force this. But I think they'll take one of the forces and then try and fight through the other one. Okay, there's a Swamp on top of my deck. I think I'd still rather Brainstorm first. Yee, okay. Put those 2 back. It's a fine pitch. Ponder. Okay, looking good. Looking good. I'll want to deploy probably Baraglyph next turn. Or let's just play it super safe. Yes, I'll keep that. If they can't bust through this turn, I'll feel pretty safe. Unmask me, pitching Archon, yep. So they can get an Atraxa, feasibly. I can consign the trigger, although they're thinking about it. They have 1 card left. It's gotta be a reanimation spell, right? It's just gotta be. Yep, taking Force. Animate Dead. Well, I can consign that trigger. I think I need to play Narset. Or I can't really do anything. I'll probably need to Cling Atraxa this turn. Wait for them to rebuild. Cabal Therapy. That's pretty rough. I'll just Brainstorm. They keep putting things off turn by turn. Alright, yeah, they don't want to wade through it. That's fair. Woo! Very cool. Very nice to trophy on the first week back of the new meta. I'm not really sure. I think I've been saying this after every video recently. Although I haven't put up a trophy on the Friday series in quite some time. So that feels pretty nice. And it's still a little too early to say where the meta is really going to end up. People are trying a lot of different things right now. But one thing I do have concerns about is Eldrazi, which is always a really strong deck against Grixis Control, just because their creatures are usually pretty big. It's like a supercharged green deck, essentially. And since we often struggle against green decks because of their large creatures, Eldrazi makes that a little more difficult. So that's the one I'm kind of keeping my eyes out for. Didn't run into it this time. I haven't run into it. I know it's out there. So I think that's my parting words and what I will probably be on the lookout for. So yeah, I think that's about it. Hope everyone's having fun with Legacy again. It seems like the format is like experiencing something of a rebirth. People seem a lot more excited about it than they were, which is great. I love to see that. And if you're looking to play Control, I would recommend checking out the Patreon. A lot of good discussion happening on the Discord and a lot of different directions this deck could go. If this particular list doesn't seem quite right to you, I always say that it's a very customizable deck. So yeah, check it out. I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in. Sweet to put up this trophy. All right, see ya.